Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. Today we have Kruti Vyas from University of Central Lancashire joining us on a life at university, been there, done that. First and foremost, thank you so much Kruti for joining us today and taking the time out this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this. And I would like to start and tell our student community that Kruti is the Indian Society President for the University of Central Lancashire. And starting from there, I really want to know what inspired you to do this. Why did you feel that you had to take up this role? And what is the Indian Society really about? And what are your plans for this year?
Okay, so first of all, what inspired me to take up this role was I think I'm just a leader. So, like, I just like to lead and do things because I felt like I could bring in a new perspective into the society. Obviously, the Indian society has been there before. I just thought I could bring something new to the Indian society, which is why I took up the role. And then, what the Indian society is, it's just like a society for the Indian students. It's just like making a home away from home for them. So, like, we do activities related to that, like celebrating festivals or just coming together, just being there for each other. I think that's what the Indian society is or should mostly be about, because everybody misses home. Everybody wants to have something there that they can call their home. And I think this society can be something like that. And the plans for the incoming year are I think we'll just do mostly activities because related to festivals and meeting and getting to know each other and just being there for each other, because I think it's very important to have somebody you can ask questions to, because like you'll go around internet scrolling up down, you don't really get an answer. So I think we could give the answers to them, like as like the president. I think I'm very suited to now England and the life here, so I think I can help people out, especially the new people. And obviously the understanding is better because you know where everybody, like, you understand their background, because obviously I'm Indian and I understand, I think. And yeah, I think the plan is mostly celebrating festivals because we've missed that for really really long. So yeah, that's the plan.
And how does one join the society? And is it like exclusive to Indian students or others can join it as well?
Everybody can join it. It's just called the Indian Society because it's just mainly that, because everybody, like every community has their own society, right? So there's the African society, there's the Indian society, there's all different. So obviously we want ours as well, like, so that, okay, yes, Indian society has somebody people can go to, that's why. What else did you ask?
Oh, so the
How to
question
join?
is
How to
join. Yeah.
join? Yeah, so every year, even the old members have to renew their subscription. So you just have to go to the SU website and then go to scroll down to Indian Society, become a member, check out, and then you're a member. So every year you have to renew it. That's how it's simple,
Wow,
and there's no fee.
well, that sounds really exciting with all the events coming up, especially
Yeah.
around the corner when there's Diwali that's supposed to be coming up, and then there's Navratri, and then you have Christmas to make it feel even more special whilst you're away from home. So, well, this was about the society. Let's also address the elephant in the room, and I would like to know from you, because you've been in England for a while, like you mentioned. How do you think has the pandemic affected the academic life for students over here? You've done both virtual classes and classes in person. What was the difference like, and how do you think things have changed over the last 1.5 year for students?
Yeah, so obviously it's a big change. First of all, you're on campus doing things old school, like going to school in the morning, waking up early, taking a shower, having your meals ready, going to university. And then one day in the night, you just get a message, oh, all your classes are online from tomorrow. And you're like, how is that going to work? Are we going to FaceTime? How is that going to work? First of all, you don't even know how to use the online platforms because you've never used them before.
Yeah.
So that was such a big change. Also, it changes your life as a whole because you just start lacking. You're just like, yeah, it's just online, it's fine. You don't prepare your meals, you don't get things done. I think that was a big change because, like, online and virtual classes, there's a big difference, because when it's on campus you have like a sense of responsibility, but when it's at home you're just like, oh yeah, it's fine, I'll do it later. So I think that was the major change. And how to cope with it, I think you should be on your toes, because you can't say just because it's online I shouldn't do it. You have to do it. You have to push yourself. If class is at 9, please just be awake 30 minutes earlier. I used to wake up 10 minutes to class, but then it didn't really work that well. So I think I think you have to take it as if it's normal, because if you keep thinking, oh, this is a short time thing, it's not, because I thought we'll go back to uni in September 2020, and where are we now? So I think you really have to accept it as it is and be on your toes all the time and get things done, because if you keep pushing things in the back, you'll never do them.
I think that's very important because this is the new normal and it's important to accept it instead of complaining about it or just thinking that this will change at some point. And even now, there is still an expected date for a COVID third wave that is supposed to be coming or might just come. So then what? So I think one has to be very, very accepting of this new normal and
Yeah.
prepare ourselves along with that, because just waking up 10 minutes before the class might have sounded right for a few days, but eventually it's going to take a toll on you. You can't
Yeah.
really concentrate and do anything. And then you might just be complaining about the structure and the lectures are not right and whatnot. But I think a lot of organizing and prioritizing will be required during this phase of transition.
Yeah, I also think that it's even, I think you can't even complain that the lectures aren't going as planned, because honestly for me it's been like the same. The teaching has been, because I have been on my toes. I'm not gonna lie, okay? I'm not gonna act like I'm lazy and that. But I have been on my toes all through, like just the way, like I think I was lazier when it was on campus, honestly, because when I came initially, I didn't know you have to be prepared for every class in advance. And that was my biggest lesson for the next semester that was online. And even though it was online, I kept preparing for all the classes. So for me, the standard remained the same. The lectures, everything, I was like, yeah, it's all right. It would be the same on campus as well. So I didn't really complain. I think it's just my school.
I think one has to be just prepared with the new normal, just accept it and keep going with it, adapt to it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we're also aware that the post-study work visa was announced this year, and it has been one of the biggest news for international students who are coming to study in the UK. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you think should international students make the most of this opportunity? And is there any support provided by universities or societies with regards to PSW?
Yeah, so even for me, it was exciting, because when I came here, I knew I'm taking a big risk, because I know once I finish studying, I have to go back home. And will I really want to go back home? So, like, I know PSW existed before, and then it was abolished in 2012, and then now it's back. So everybody graduating after 1st of July 2021 is eligible for that. So you literally just have to apply and hope you get it.
Okay,
Anyways, it's just like after that, 2 years after that, you get the chance to work here. And that's really exciting, because I think you get a hang of what life in England really is without being a student. You know, right now, it's like you're a student, so you get a lot of the things a bit, it's not that bad. Like you have student discount, this, that. But then I think when you get the PSW, it's like, okay, now I'm a full-fledged adult. Now I have to do everything by myself. Like, you know, then you can't stay in like a student house and all of that, right? As well. I think it's just a big chance for you to grow as a person, as a human, and learn. And especially because it's abroad, it just, I think it just pushes you in the right way to get everything done and get everything right. And you're more determined, and you know how hard you've struggled to get where you are. And it's like 2 years. 2 years is not long, but it's like the experience, it's like an experience of a lifetime, you know. So I really think it's a really good chance for us international students, because before it was just like, okay, we study, we go home. Even then, when I was leaving home, I was telling my mom that I'm just going to take a risk and let's see what happens. And then this came, and I was like, you know, I was just like, from where? Like, I'm so glad I just took a risk, and I was like, now I'm just going to go where I really want to go. So yeah. And with regards to support from university and that, obviously our university, we have student services, like they give student support, they give advice. You have the eye, you know. So I think there is support. And obviously, because now I am lead of Indian society, so I can only talk about my society, because that's the only society I've really known. So I really think that we will try as much as possible to give the advice we can, because obviously we're not professionals or anything. All we can say is what we read from the government website, right? So I think that's the support we'll be able to give. I think is just advice and just telling people that, oh, this exists. But I think by now everybody knows that, oh, there's PSW now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think that's a great thing that you're mentioning that there will be support provided by UCLan Indian Society for PSW, because I see so many students still struggling to find basics around what PSW is, how to do it, what is the exact link to apply, and how many years do they get, what is the criteria, do they need to pass, or any kind of degree would work for it. And there's so many questions around it, and I think it'll be great if probably in the future there's a session around this which can help students to understand what are the basics of it. I remember just 2 weeks back somebody texting me asking me where is the link to signing up to PSW. So things like that. I mean, students are so excited about it, they want to know more, they want to know as much as they can about the whole post-study work visa. And it's good to know, and UCLan students must know that there is the Indian Society that is providing you all kinds of support in terms of whatever's available on the website for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think they just have to ask, like, we can't know what you want, you have to tell us what you want, and we can go according to that. Because let's say I like chocolate, but you like cake, so I can't do chocolate because that's not what the society wants, right? It's not a me thing, it's an us thing. So I think they should like come forward and say, okay, we want this, and then we can go accordingly. So I think it's a shout to all you Indian society people that come and tell us what you want.
Yes, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. So
exactly,
it's about everyone and whatever their needs and wants are with regards to society. Perfect. So, talking about university, you've been on both sides, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, during pandemic. According to you, what would be your tip, or what do you think is like a wholesome university experience? How would you define that for any new student who's just joining uni?
Well, obviously now for you, it's like just pandemic. So you don't know what life was before the pandemic. You don't have to notice me. You didn't miss anything. Okay. So right now it's online and on campus, so we have both, and I think things are opening up here, so you will get the experience because we have welcome week, graduation, things are happening, so things will be happening when you come. For me already 1.5 years just went like that, and I have 1.5 now, and obviously I'm going to make the most of it because that's all I have. Obviously you want to meet new people, take part in like activities. I think there's a lot that goes on in university, and sometimes you just get lazy. You're like, I can't be asked to go now and go join a society or go for an event. I think everybody just falls into that. You're like, oh yeah, no, I can't be asked. Because like there's so much in university. Like this, every Wednesday, I remember I used to go volunteer on campus, and then that was online, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not. If it's online, I'm not doing it. So like the past year has just been, if it's online, I'm not doing it. But now it's on campus, so I'm doing it. So for the newcomers, it's like the experience will be not as it was like normal, but it's better than what we had, because ours was everything was online. At least now things are open, you can go to restaurants, clubs, it's open, you can go. So I think the experience will be a tiny bit better than what we had.
Yeah. And I think the kind of exposure that international students are looking for will be available to them instead of just sitting at home inside the four walls and doing their assignments and doing everything else. A coffee every now and then, or exploring the town and city, will always look like more appealing, right? Because back in 2016 when I came, I can't imagine sitting in that room all the time and not being able to explore Coventry, or not being able to go to take a train and run to Birmingham just in case I want to try something, or do anything else apart from that. So I think that kind of will change a little bit, and will also be more helpful for students to just get that exposure that they keep talking about back home.
Yeah, and also have a life.
And also have a life. So, well, in particular to UCLan University Live, what are some of the activities that you have on campus, and how does one join them? I mean, I know there's a welcome week. What does the welcome week really entail for new students, and how can students join like new societies and new clubs on campus?
Everything you have, if you're joining a society that's online, the way I said for the Indian society, that's how it is for all other societies as well. You just have to go scroll. There's so many societies. I don't know the exact number, but you have to keep scrolling, find the one that appeals to you and join, and then check out. That's it. That's how it works. Then you're part of the society. Then you know what events they're having.
Yeah.
And for, what was it? The first part of it?
Just
The
what
things that,
activities are there on campus,
yeah.
and what will the welcome week be? What will it look like for students?
So the welcome week, like if you're a fresher, you get like a timetable kind of thing saying that today we have societies fair. So I know 28th of September is societies fair. Apart from that, I don't know much because I haven't been told what's going on every day. But the
Okay.
freshers will have a timetable saying that today we have this kind of fair. This, so when there's societies fair, you can come, go see the societies, this and that. And I remember the year I was supposed to come in, they had like pizza and all of that, but I don't know if it's happening this year. And when you live in student halls, like university halls, they usually do have like a welcome party as well for like the people who live in the building. We had that as well last time before pandemic. I don't know if it's going on this year, but on campus mostly we have volunteering that goes on every Wednesday. um there's the Harrington, there's Foster buildings. There you can go and just hang around there. It's very pretty and nice. Sometimes you just want to sit there and be lazy. There's
Yeah.
cafes and all of that. I think everything is opening up now. There's also UCLan Sports Arena. You can go there. I used to take, so like there's a free bus that takes you to the sports arena. You can take that. I used to go play football then. So you can just take the bus and go. There's also sports center now. You have gym, Zumba, all of that good stuff. Yeah, I think there's probably more, but that's what
Yeah.
I have
These
been
are some of the
involved
things
in.
that students can do around it in
Yeah.
campus. That's lovely. Well, talking about campus university life, having a wholesome experience, another part of student life is their expenses, their financial matters, and how they manage that and how they go about that. What would be your top tips, and how do you manage your expenses and a budget for yourself as a student who's independent now and there's nobody to like track your expenses anymore?
Yeah. So for me, um, okay, I do what I want to do first of all. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't stop myself from doing things. But I think, first of all, I think where you live is a major factor because the most expensive thing is your living. So I think student halls are much, it's a smarter option because bills are included. So you don't have to keep thinking you have to pay bills like to private providers. So I think that's like a major choice you have to make, whether you're going to live in like a private flat or just a student accommodation. I think if you're sharing a private flat, it comes cheaper, but sometimes the fact that you have to pay bills, it's almost the same. So I think student accommodation is better for me as a person. It's better, but you're free to explore what you want. And also when you go shopping, you have to, don't just buy everything, okay? Like buy what you need, like buy what you're going to use, because sometimes you end up buying so much stuff and then it goes bad and you're just like, why did I even buy it in the first place and I didn't even use it? I think you should have a plan, and you should know how often you're going to go grocery shopping. And
Right.
also when you walk into town, just you don't, if you're going into town doesn't mean you have to go spend, okay? You can just go for a walk around town and come home. I
Yeah.
think that's another one. And also get a job. Just try to get a part-time job. I think it really helps. It also gives you a sense of responsibility, so I think you should really try and get a job as well. um I think I don't spend like mad. I don't think so. But
Yeah.
like if you want to, if you really see something you like in town, like a specific jeans, just buy it. Like don't think two times, just get
Yeah.
it. That's because you can't keep putting it off, okay?
Yeah.
Because life is too short. Like if you want it, you get it. But that's only if you spend wisely. If you spend like every time you go, like every time you have to eat out, then don't buy that pair of jeans, okay? Just buy it if you're a smart spender.
Right. I think you have to compensate. So, for instance, if you bought this jeans, then maybe for the next 1 week you don't eat outside and
Eat
cook
out.
at home. So you
Yeah.
kind of compensate whenever you really want to buy something with something that you usually do, and then
Yeah.
it works out well. Great. Another thing that I would like to ask you is, and students really stress about this coming from different countries because the academic structure changes from wherever they're coming to England. Tell us a little bit more about your course and how have you been evaluated so far? What's the evaluation structure like? And what's the best way to go forward with your course and the kind of evaluation that you've been going through?
Okay, so for me, it wasn't such a big change because I studied in like the British system. So I definitely knew what I was signing up for. Like coursework and that has always been like a thing as well where I studied. And I study law. So for us, we have some modules which are compulsory and some you can choose from. So if you choose some modules, you have to choose if you want to become a qualifying lawyer in England.
Right.
Otherwise, then you just choose whatever modules you want. And the teaching is great. Like, that's what's kept me grounded and that's what's kept me here. It's like the best thing ever. Like, that's why I say, oh, I go to UCLan and I'm in law school. Like, Preston is pretty also. My teachers are also like, that's why I'm here, I'm here for my studies. So I think I've got what I came here for, especially from my law school. I think the teachers are great. They're so supportive. They're so nice. And I think they just really push you to become better. And like, if you want a reference, they're always ready to do it for you. And yeah, so that's been nice. And the grading, okay, obviously because classes went, my first semester was on campus. And then before the semester ended, it was online. So my first exam was online. So like you have open book exams and then you have a 24-hour period to finish the exam and then you send it in and then you also have coursework. And I think they just it's like the normal grading system. You have first class, second, that's how it is. And
Right.
then they usually do moderate the marks a little bit, I think, because of the pandemic and that. But for me, I think it hasn't been like, for my personal grade, it's just remained the same. I don't know why. For me, whatever I get, that's how it's been for me. So I don't really know how they moderate the marks because I don't know, but like when you get your assignment, they obviously write the top tips for you, like how you can do better. Obviously, that's there. And you can always ask that, what should I do to get like a better score in this? And I think you should just like, when the assignment comes out, just start looking at it and getting it done. Because if you push it till the end, it's not one module you're studying 3 or 4 modules. And like you have coursework for every module. I think you have to really push yourself to start on day one because they'll pile up then 3 of them. And then the deadline of 3 of them will be together. So how will you do it all? And each essay is like 4,000 words. So if you're doing 3 modules, that's like 12,000 words and you have to submit them all together and you're proofreading all of them end minute. You can't read all that, honestly.
That's not
You
happening.
have to just get it done. Yeah.
Wow. So should we say, is it really that complex, or organization and prioritization can really get students somewhere?
I think it's only complex if you don't put in the work
Exactly.
because you'll be struggling last minute because it's literally one coursework per module. Okay, for my semester that's incoming, one coursework per module. And like I already know my classes haven't started. I already know that this is coming. So be ready for it, right? You can't just push it to the back and not do it. Like you have to get it done. And I think just the fact that you always want a first class, which is I think it's a 70 and above. But for me, it's like, no, I'm going to aim for an 80 and above. So that's how I think you should make an aim for yourself. And because I'm studying law, you have to read a lot. You have to research a lot. Like the teachers can't tell you everything. I think you have to take the initiative to study as well because we have like law libraries and that and like Westlaw, Lexis, like it's our legal database, whatever. You have to research on there, read, see what people are saying. And I think you have to be proactive in class as well because I remember my first semester, I was a little lost because I didn't know people. I just came, I was just like thrown into it and I was just like, okay, what is going on? And after that, I learned how it works. So my other semester, if you see the difference in grades, you're just like, this is the same person, what happened, So I think you really have to take the initiative and be prepared before the class. I think that's very important.
I think that's an important lesson I also learned back in uni, that I thought everything's going to be in class only to realize that you have got to be prepared before class, and once class is
Yeah.
over, they're only going to be talking about basics, but you have to eventually do all those readings that are there on the reading list.
Yes.
And that's the important part, and a lot of discipline is required. So I think students tend to forget when they come outside that everything is about this university and this course that you've taken up, and there is a lot around it, but the priority is this. And there needs to be a sense of discipline in order to live a uni life that is stress free. Otherwise, like you mentioned, you have 3 deadlines, you have 3 modules, you're proofreading 3 of them, and all of them are supposed to be submitted at 12 p.m.
Yeah.
and nothing happens. So basically, discipline is key for any and every student, I feel.
Yeah, it is you really have to strike a balance, honestly.
Yeah,
Like, yes, you can have a life outside university and a job, but
yeah,
don't forget your first priority was your education when you came here.
education.
Like, you can't have spent that much money to forget that, or to forget your studies. You can forget a weekend party, but you can't forget you've got to study.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, we also talked about part-time jobs in the middle of the conversation, and many students have this question around how to get part-time jobs. Are there any opportunities to get part-time jobs? What's the best way to approach them? So, what's your advice? You did mention about getting a part-time job, and I'm aware you are into one. So, what do you suggest to new students? How should they find a part-time job for themselves?
First of all, look on Indeed, because it really helps. It really, like, what's going on around. Also, there would be like tiny shops around, like tiny restaurants around university. You could go, like, for them, they don't have them online. You can just go into the shop and ask them if they're hiring,
Yeah,
and like give your CV and then get the job. And then for campus, they usually have them on the SU page, I think, where there's opportunities, get involved, something like that. That's where you apply, because I know I'll be working on campus next semester as student ambassador. So, uh, but like the deadline for that usually is very early in the year. I think it's like March when I applied, and now I'm working in October. So I think that one now you have to do it in advance. So like you can't do it as a first year usually, because you don't really know about university, so you can't really get that job. Maybe the year, like after your first year, then you can apply for that. I think you'll have a better understanding of UCLan, and they did advertise for jobs on campus in the cafe, and that obviously you can apply for that. They also usually post on their Instagram page, the UCLan pages, that they're hiring in this their cafes on campus or whatever. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of looking. I'm telling you, I applied for so many jobs, hundreds of jobs, before I actually got one. So you can't just give up. You just have to keep applying. I
yeah,
applied, like, let's say in February, whatever, and I didn't get a job till June. And then I got a call, oh, you applied for this job. And I was like, what job did I apply for? In my brain, obviously, you can't tell them what job did I apply
yeah,
for.
yeah,
And I was like, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm just going to take it because I really want this.
yeah.
And then from then, I've literally just been applying, and then you just get a job. So like there hasn't been a period where I've just been not having a job, because I think it's very important. I just feel I just have a sense of responsibility when I have a job. I think it just makes me better as a person, and also I handle my life a little better. If I just had classes, I think I'd be just on my bed the whole day. So
Yeah.
I think it's important. Yeah, just apply.
Yeah, just apply, look for it. And it's not just only about doing that part-time job, but it's also like a lot of personality development there that happens. And I think one needs it. I think I learned so much on my part-time job, and I would recommend everyone to do one job at least, even if it's for a month or 2 months, because it's going to help you out to be a better version of yourself whilst you also finish uni.
Yeah.
And we're almost coming to the end of the conversation. So I would like to know from you. You've shared so many insights about your university life and so much useful information for incoming students. How would you define your uni life if I have to say in just 3 words?
Okay, the first one is terrible beauty.
Okay.
And then the second one is life changing.
Hmm?
And the third one is oh my gosh, challenging. It is
Yeah,
those three.
right. So the second one that you mentioned, you said life changing. How do you think has university helped you become a better person, or changed you in a way that you feel that you're now a better version of yourself since you first came to uni?
I love that question. So when I came to university at first, I am a crier, okay? And when I came at first, I was like, oh my God, I hate this. I was here. I just landed. I reached my halls. I was there for literally 2 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, I want to go back home. And then in March, I saw the chance to run back home because it was the pandemic. So I was like, obviously, I'm going home. I'm not
Run back home. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, run back home. But I couldn't go because the flights were closed and I was just like, oh, how long am I going to be here?
Yeah.
Then honestly, that time I was like, are you going to crib about this for 3 years? And it's not even that bad. It was me. I'm just very dramatic. I was just literally like, I just wanted to cry about everything. Like, just if you call me, I'll just cry. Okay.
Yeah.
If you tell me something this tiny, I'll cry. Even if you tell me hi, I'll cry at that point. Okay. So it was too much. I just looked at myself and I was like, are you mad? What's wrong with you? You know, like, why are you crying? You have a house, you have food, you have friends. Are you mad? Anyway, so I think it's just been life changing in that way because I looked deeper into myself and I was like, what are you? What do you want? Why did you come here? You chose to come here. Nobody forced you to come here, first of all. You said, oh, no, I'm going to England. So, like, now leave it, right? And, like, life is too short, man. It's just 3 years of your studies you have, and you don't know what's going to come tomorrow. So, why not live in the today? Are you going to be crying today and then you die? Then what?
Yeah.
Like, what have you done with your life? What have you lived? Like, what you just cried. That's all you did. And I think that really changed me as a person. Also, I think I've become a better thinker. It's important to think, okay? I'm not saying overthink. I'm just saying it's important to think and see what you stand for, who you are. I think it brings you closer to yourself because you're alone. You have so much time for yourself. Like, it's mad, you know. Sometimes you'll get tired of yourself. But honestly, for me, it's just been like, look deeper into yourself and see what you are, who you are, and what you stand for. So I think that's why I said it's life changing. And I also said terrible beauty because of the same reason, because like, it's difficult, yes, it's this, it's that, but at the end you'll come out such a beautiful person, right? You've learned so much about yourself. Now nobody can tell me that, Kruti, this, don't tell me. First of all, I know who I am, you know.
Right.
So, like, not in an egoistic way or anything, but just in the way that I know who I am. So, like, leave me alone.
I like that. I love that about you. And I think it's very important. And I love the fact that not even halfway through uni, you've already realized that. And you already know that I know who I am. I know my purpose. I know why I'm here. And I know what I want from my life. So yeah, don't tell me that. Don't
tell me.
I love that. And I think it's very important for every individual to embrace this thing or learn this thing. Instead of the harder way, just understand that no matter whatever happens around you or within your life or around people who are in your life, you should know that what is your purpose. And I always tell this to myself as well during my low times. Always go back to your why. Why are you here? What really brought you here? And when you go back to your why, I think you always find a sense of purpose and you always come back stronger, no matter how difficult the situation is or how challenging that period is for you. But I love that last bit, definitely.
And you know, it's like nobody, like, you know, like I used to talk to my mom and dad every single day. I still do. Like, I love them to bits. But you know, the thing is, people can tell you, my mom and dad will tell me that, Kruti, you chose to do this, and you have a house, you have this, you have that, why are you crying? Like, it's fine, it's like bad in your head.
Right.
And I listen, but you can't really implement it until it doesn't come from within. You know, you have to say, Kruti, what's wrong with you? You have to find the problem and get the solution, because it's you who can make the change. Somebody from outside will come, push me, but until I don't want it, it's not going to change. So it's you, it's about you. And that's what university has been for me. It's about you. Everything is about you. You do everything on your own. You wake up alone, cook alone, go shopping alone. You do everything alone. Like, nobody, like, you have friends, yes, I get it, but everything you have to do it on your own. Like, you can't say, okay, come on, let's go shopping today. It doesn't work like that. You have to get things done according to your plan, your life. Because I have a job, I can't wait for other people to be available for me to go shopping, because it's shopping for me, right? I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to you. Like, that's it. It's just you.
And I think the kind of self reflection that you talk about, that you should be thinking deep within who you are, what you want, and how you want things around you. Because definitely, when you say that you're alone, nobody's going to come and wake you up for a class early morning. You have to make that routine to make sure that you wake up for that class, sleep in time, and even if you don't, you have to wake up, because it is about you. Nobody's going to bother about you waking up for that class or for anything that matters to you. You have to take care of everything, and living alone kind of teaches you that. Definitely, I think I learned it the hard way myself, that I have to be self accountable to myself, to myself first and foremost, and then maybe to the rest, only in situations where it matters. Other than that, it all comes down to you as a person, what you want, how you want to spend the next 2 years, 3 years of your life.
That's it. Yeah, it's just about you. That's all I have to say. It's just you.
Yeah.
And
All
you
right.
got you.
You got you do
You
you.
got you. Yeah, you do you.
You do you. Well, this is the last and final question for you, and this is an advice I would like you to give to incoming students to start better and start on a very, very positive note in university.
First of all, don't make up your mind when you come. Don't expect anything at all. Like, take it as it comes,
Yeah.
and embrace it all. Don't compare it to what you had, because if you do that, obviously it's not close to what you had at all, because you have to make new friends. Obviously you didn't come with your whole bag of friends with you here, so obviously you have to take it as it comes. Talk to people, do different things, go on walks. I'm telling you, it's so important to get out of the house.
Yeah.
When I came here, I think I didn't leave the house for 2 months straight.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not going out. That was me. Like March, April, I did not leave. Like it was so bad. It was so bad. I did not leave. You better leave the house. Go for a walk. And it's going to be a tad bit cold for you, obviously, but just get out. Wear like 3 layers of clothes if you have to, but just get out, and also exercise. I think meditation is also very important. Just 5 minutes a day for yourself. Like out of 24 hours, 5 minutes for yourself. It's very important. I think it's also very important to go for a walk every single day. I go for like 3 walks in a day. I'm not even joking at this point. I
Yeah.
take my lunch break from work just to go for a walk, and then
Wow.
I go again in the evening. So yeah, I'm just extra like that. And I think just embrace it, because if you don't, then it will be so hard for you to settle in. Like it will take months. Like I think you should just accept the new experience and live it. Don't crib and cry about what you had before, because there's no comparison there. This is a new experience. That's what you had. This is what you have now. So you'd rather live in the now than live in, like, the past, because that's over, it's gone. You can cherish the memories, whatever, but then you have to live in your today. So I think that's very important, and I think you should do as much as you can, because it's literally 3 years. They fly like this. I'm halfway done, and I'm just like, what did I do? Well, now I'm Indian Society chairperson, but what did I do before this? Yeah, so I think just
Those.
live the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think live in the moment as well. Take it as
yeah,
it comes. And one important thing that you said was, don't make up your mind already before you are here.
yeah.
Because I think that kind of messes things up when you're here and you already have things on your mind, and when they don't go as planned or as you've thought, that's where the mess up starts. So might as well not think about it too much.
Yeah, just let it be.
Just let it be, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kruti, for taking time out and sharing these lovely, lovely insights and such good advice at such young age. It's so nice and interesting to even have the conversation. But thank you so much for your time. How did you feel about the whole conversation?
Thanks for having me, first of all. I was really excited for this. I love such things. And when I saw, oh, been there, done that, I've seen it before, obviously. And I told you when I met you that I really like that. It's such a good idea, first of all. And now I'm here, so I'm just like, yes,
Yes.
that's bucket list ticked off. That's it, one thing
Oh,
done.
that's very kind of you. But thank you so much once again. Thank you.
It was nice talking to you.
You too.